I'm going to do my best to get this one done relatively quickly, as there's only 3 games tonight. The Toronto Maple Leafs have a quick turnaround tonight, and Curtis McElhinney gets to play against his former team again. He's played them twice since he went to Toronto and lost both times. Korpisalo is starting for Columbus. Korpisalo's stats have been good lately, so Bobrovsky may be needing a rest. Makes sense. Their records are virtually identical. Toronto just with one more win. Toronto at 21-13-1. Columbus at 20-13-1. And it makes 3 spots difference in the East. Toronto sits 4th and Columbus sits 7th. Matthews is still out. Werenski's out for Columbus. Matthews is still the leading scorer for the Leafs with 26 points in 26 games. Panarin, with 28 points in 34 games, is playing well for Columbus on a team that's kind of taken a bit of a nosedive over the last few weeks. And now they're down to a position where they would be a wild card team. You don't want to be down there. You want to be faced with playing either the best team in the Metro or the Tampa Bay Lightning. You just don't want to be down in that position. So it'll be interesting to see what they do to get out of it. The Detroit Red Wings, fresh off a win over the Islanders, now move in to play the Philadelphia Flyers. The Flyers, of course, coming off of a 4-1 loss to the Flyers coming off a 4-1 loss to the Kings. Detroit 13-13-7. Philadelphia 14-10-2. Both teams are sitting outside a playoff spot. Philadelphia at 10th. The Philadelphia's at 10th, and the Red Wings are at 13th. Howard's probably the starter for Detroit. Elliott's the starter for Philly. Larkin's the leading scorer for Detroit with 27 points in 33 games. Only 5 of those are goals. If Larkin can start potting more goals, that turns around Detroit's fortunes immediately. Voracek, 33 games, 8 goals, 33 assists, 41 points. He's the leading scorer for the Flyers. And, of course, we can't forget that Claude Giroux's sitting at a point a game as well and has been playing very well. In terms of who I would take, Toronto coming off that 8-1 win, Columbus coming off a 7-2 loss. I wouldn't be surprised to see Columbus win this because it's one of those things. You look at it and you go, well, embarrassing win, embarrassing loss. They'll probably go to overtime today. It'll probably be a very tight, very close game. This one, on the other hand, maybe one of them loses in overtime. Look, you got 7 overtime losses for both. So they're being buoyed by overtime losses rather than losing in regulation. If they'd lost all these games in regulation, then they're done. That'd leave Philly at 14-19 and Detroit at 13-20. So it'll be interesting to see how that one turns out. Obviously, if Detroit wins that game in regulation, they catch up to the Flyers. If the Flyers win that one in regulation, they further bury the Detroit Red Wings. And St. Louis is in Calgary. St. Louis is the number 3 team in the West. Calgary's the number 10. It's Allen and Smith are the likely starters for their respective teams. I might come back with Hutton if I'm St. Louis. I mean, Hutton had that 48 save shutout, but that's just me. Leading scorers, Braden Schen's leading the way, 38 points in 35 games in St. Louis. Johnny Gaudreau with 40 points in 34 games, tied with Connor McDavid. So let the debates begin, as Gaudreau has 13 goals, 27 assists, and McDavid sitting with 12 goals and 28 assists. And they're going to be locked, and it would be fun to see these teams locked in a battle for the last playoff spot, and McDavid and Gaudreau having a battle over who's the better scorer this season. In terms of this game here, I would think that, I would probably take Calgary. St. Louis is coming off the 4-0 loss, but I could see Calgary winning that game. The Flames do not want to fall any further back than they are. Not that anybody does, but it is a very tight race in both conferences. It's a lot of fun to watch. And in terms of where we're at, we're getting around the dog days. The dog days are usually that first week of January. So you have your Christmas break, and then in January just kind of... And, of course, today's the roster freeze. So any moves that have been made, and any moves that are yet to be made, you're going to have to wait. So anyways, this is what we've got. And let me know who you've got for tonight's games. It's not going to be a long preview because there's only 3 games. So let me know what you think. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to browsing your way through. And for people who are wondering, I do have a board set up, and I do have something to talk about that's not related to this. And it's something I've wanted to talk about for roughly a week. I wanted to wait until the TSN article had run its course and people had said whatever about it elsewhere. And now I'm going to have my say. It's that Connor McDavid one that I was talking about a week ago. So that's coming up today. And a reminder, I do work from 4 till 10 tonight because what I was doing last night from 4 till 10 got canceled due to snow. And today it's on. It's on like Donkey Kong. So here we go. I won't be able to see these 3 games tonight. You guys are going to have to be my eyes and ears. I may jump onto the Discord server tonight during those games. It depends. I'm also doing an art project for the channel that I had intended to do at work last night. I've been doing it at home as well. It's fun. It's a goal, and it's typical THG goals that are just kind of weird. But doing arts and crafts and heading to the dollar store for further arts and crafts materials. Maybe other people, they might do high tech stuff. I go and say, hey, what can I do with pipe cleaners? What can I do with magnets? What can I do? So I just figure, I'm looking at things from a different angle than other people might when they're doing this kind of thing. And as long as I'm not paying a whole lot of attention to what other people are doing, I can't be copying them because I'm not paying any attention. But thank you for paying attention. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being a subscriber. And if you're not a subscriber, hit like, hit subscribe. And thanks very much. I'll talk to you again soon.